To our celebration of Maundy Thursday. The word Maundy comes from an old Latin word meaning mandatum, or that's the word that they used, and it means commandment. For Maundy Thursday, among other things, has to do with the giving by Jesus of that very special commandment, love one another as I have loved you. So, henceforth, Maundy Thursday. Maundy Thursday here at the church has a long history, and it has taken many forms, from the Last Supper to the Tenebrae service to special observances of another kind than you will witness. But always at the center of Maundy Thursday has been our senior choir. And so tonight it is no exception. And it is this evening a gift to you from your senior choir here at the Manhattan Beach Community Church. Tonight we take no formal offering. However, as you leave the sanctuary, you will see two baskets, one on either side with handles on them. And if you would like to make a donation to this year's Senior Scholarship Fund, which can use our support this year, we hope you would do that. We also invite you to be here tomorrow from 12 until 1 as we observe Good Friday. There will be 3 meditations taken from the 7 last words of Christ. Reverend Ray Lambert will be giving one. Aaron Wyma, our Minister to Youth and Families, another. And I will be giving a meditation as well. Also, you will have the opportunity to enjoy the music of Terry Lambert and a special duet by John and Nancy Jo Dowdy. And following the very special Good Friday service, we will have a reception where you will have hot crossed buns, which is a Good Friday tradition. Good Friday, incidentally, there's some question as to where it got its name, but it is referred to at times as God's Friday. You are also invited to the 3 Easter services, one at 6:30 in the morning just north of the pier, 2 services at 9 and 11. There will not be a service at 10. There will be a service at 9 and 11, 2 identical Easter services here in the sanctuary, and we invite you to be a part of that. So tonight our senior choir, under the direction of Pat Edwards, accompanied by Lee Lassiter, with narration by Aaron Wyma, offers a special musical drama entitled Touched by Christ. And this drama surrounds the notion of the followers of Jesus as they reflect upon the final days of the life of Christ and what we have come to know as Holy Week. So the choir, through music and drama, takes us on a journey tonight through Palm Sunday, Maundy Thursday, Good Friday, and the Easter experience, with the major focus perhaps tonight on Maundy Thursday. Hopefully, your lives will be touched by Christ.
We began tonight with a procession into Jerusalem on Palm Sunday, and those of you that have palms, you wave the palms as the procession comes down, and
Good evening. Join us as we walk with Christ on his journey to the cross. Listen to the stories of those he met along the way. As you know, Jesus encountered both friends and enemies on his journey. Hear now the words of an officer to Caiaphas.
Don't you draw near to that charlatan, that cursed man of the cross, that man that claims to be equal to God himself. We're finally lucky to be rid of him. Troublemaker, rebel rouser. That's what he was. That's all he ever was. Nothing like a Messiah. It's a wonder no lightning fell on his head when he spoke those poison words, "I and my Father are one." Such a man is far too dangerous to be living among decent, God-fearing Jews. And I'm proud to say I was in on his secret plan from the first. My Lord, the high priest Caiaphas, spoke it clear. It is better that one man should die than a whole nation follow a blasphemer. And the Romans tightened their grip. So we concocted a plan to kill him by any means we could. Oh, don't look so shocked. We didn't lift his hand against him until he lifted ours against us. See this whip? This tangle of ropes? Quite painful when slung about in anger. And he was angry that day. He used it to drive out the honest merchants from the temple. That made my blood boil. When we finally found his weakest link, a traitor amongst his 12 closest friends, we gave him a chance to turn away from his claims of deity. My Lord Caiaphas asked him to explain himself, and he spoke back with insolence. So I drew up to that impertinent place and I struck him a blow in my hand. How did it feel to strike the man they call the Messiah with my own right hand? It felt right and good.
The Messiah has come.
Among the friends of Jesus, those he counted almost as family, was one who would betray him. Hear now from his disciple, Judas.
Oh, I came near to the Christ of the cross. I came near with my lips, but not my heart. I came so close as to offer him the kiss of fellowship. And when I did, he looked at me as though he could not believe it possible. I felt compelled to turn away from his gaze. Though he fascinated me during our years together, I was never deeply touched by his words. They were too philosophical, too otherworldly. Self-sacrifice is what he demanded, and that I was never willing to give. I was looking for a Messiah to deliver his people in this world, not in some future world. Yet, he trusted me. For I was the treasure among our band of 12, and believe you me, if left to my judgment, things would have been different. No costly sacrifice of expensive nard to wipe anyone's feet. How can you justify that? So many things seemed not a sacrifice, but a waste now that I think back on it. The goodwill of the people, for instance, sacrificed as he drove the money changers from the temple. The chance to answer the high priest, sacrificed as he spoke out defiantly. And yes, the chance to escape to Galilee, sacrificed as he went to the garden to pray, even though he knew what I was up to. He wasted his time with me, a total waste. And now that he has been taken to Caiaphas, it's all a waste, a monumental waste, with the 12 scattered like sheep. Well, now my life and my money are all my own. I drew the cords of this purse so tight that not one coin could escape. And soon, I'll draw another cord so tight not one wasted breath might escape. His touch on my life was a waste, a pathetic waste. He calls his followers to sacrifice. Such sacrifice is always a waste, a terrible waste.
another dear friend who would deny Jesus 3 times before this was over was Peter. Let's hear from his disciple, Peter.
If I stir my hand in this pot, the waves and ripples will trouble the water. And yet if I remove the hand, the water falls to peace. With these very eyes I saw him stand in a fishing boat, tossed by the thunderous wrath of an angry sea. And with these ears I heard him say, "Peace, be still." He held up his hand as if to quiet a wailing babe. "Shh, go to sleep now, child." The waves and the wind obeyed his voice. Our boat stopped careening, lay still with puddles sloshing back and forth. He stopped the storm with his word. Now, a deeper storm rages in the sea of my heart, wave upon wave. Agony, for I've done the unspeakable. He foretold me I would deny him. I took him by the shoulders. "Not I, Lord, I will never deny you." Yet before the cock crowed twice at break of day, his words were fulfilled by the curse in my mouth. As they brought my Lord from trial in Caiaphas' court, bound by a rope to lead him away to judgment, he searched the crowd for a familiar face. His eyes met mine. I knew, and he knew. When they took him to Pilate, I ran. I wept. It was only last night he stirred his hand in this basin. The master knelt before my place at the table. My mind rebelled. Why should the Christ kneel down before a sinful man? And I argued with him, "No, Lord, you'll never wash my feet." "If I don't wash your feet," he said, "you have no part with me. Then wash my head and my hands and all of me." He only washed my feet. Oh Lord, you were willing to wash me then. How I wish I could go back with you to the upper room. How I long to hear you say, "Yes, Peter, I will wash you. I will make you clean." A prideful soul to Christ I came, and spoke into his loving face. My Lord shall never take a servant's place. But you, my Lord, drew near to me. You washed my feet so I might see that through a humble servant we see grace, your amazing grace.
We pause now on the road to the cross, even as Jesus and his disciples did so long ago. It was the week of the Passover. Some 1,300 years before the birth of Jesus, the Jews living in Egypt had gone from honored guests to slaves. Some of the monuments you see there today were those erected by Hebrew slaves. Moses was the one who pleaded with Pharaoh, his old friend, to let the people go out of slavery back to their own land. But Pharaoh's heart was hardened. 9 bitter plagues came upon Egypt, but he would not let them go. The final plague would bring about the death of the firstborn in every family. But the Jews were told to take the blood of a lamb and to smear it over the doorpost of their house. So the angel of death then would pass over that house, and those children would be spared. So it was that the Jews were released from Egypt, and even to this day celebrate that great event by what they call the Passover feast, remembering deliverance out of Egypt, and also remembering all those who are in bondage this day who seek to be free. Jesus met with his disciples to observe the Passover, faithful Jews that they were. Some room near Jerusalem, some upper room we call it, they prepared the feast. They took the traditional foods of the Seder. But Jesus, knowing what would happen tomorrow, the day we call Good Friday, took these elements and gave them new meaning. He took the bread that was before them and said, "This is my body, which is broken for you. Eat this in remembrance of me." And after supper, he took a cup, the cup of wine, and said, "This cup is the new covenant in my blood. Drink of it, all of you, in remembrance of me." And so to this day we observe the bread and the wine in remembrance of our Lord on this night, which we call Maundy Thursday. We will invite you to come forward through the center aisle. You'll be directed by our ushers to take the bread and to dip it into the wine, and then to recess by the side aisles, if you will. If you're unable to come, then and when we are finished here, if you'll simply raise your hand, then someone will come and will present these elements to you. So let us join together as we observe the Lord's Supper this night.
For Jesus, the journey to the cross was fraught with struggle. Jesus often told those he met along his earthly journey these comforting words. They should sound familiar. He would say, "Come to me, all you who are weary and heavily burdened, and I will give you rest. Come to me, Jesus would say. But tonight, Jesus is the one who is weary and heavily burdened. It is his soul that is overcome with grief to the point even of feeling like death. Jesus asks his disciples, his closest friends, to sit vigil with him, and what do? They fall asleep. How hard must it have been for Jesus to bear this alone, the weight of all that was to come. It came to him, and it clearly caused him great distress. He prays to God, he speaks to God in the garden that night. He knows the time has come for him to trust God in a way that he has not done so before, in a way his journey has prepared him for, but still it is not easy to lay this pain before God. But Jesus does. He speaks honestly with God, and yet he basically remembers that God is in control, and he says, "Not my will, but your will be done." He prays not only for himself, but for all of us. He prays for us, for you and for me, for our struggles and our future pain and our future doubts. Jesus asks God to protect us, even as he is the one who needs protecting. And now, with conviction and true understanding of the depths of pain and despair, Jesus still shares these words with us, to each one of us here tonight. "Come to me," he says. all you who are weary and heavy burdened, and I will give you rest. Come to me. Come to me. The powerful Roman prefect struggled to condemn Jesus to death. Hear now the words of Pontius Pilate.
Too much has been spoken of this Nazarene, yet much remains untold. Puzzling, yes? He drew the attention of many, from the lowest right up to myself. He even drew the attention of my wife. Yes, Pilate's wife dreamed of the Christ. I have sentenced hundreds of men to hang on a cross, yet only this one troubled the dreams of my household. She said, "Have nothing to do with the blood of this just man." She was convinced, as though she had seen the truth. But a man is not governed by the dreams of his wife. I have spies in all quarters, and I knew that the people called him their chosen, anointed king, their Messiah. So I put the question to him straight up as he stood there. "Are you the king of the Jews?" I looked at his bound hands. "You have said it right." He spoke in a humble voice. "For this reason I was born, and for this cause I came into the world, to bear witness to the truth. For everyone who seeks the truth hears my voice." That really said it all. The man spoke as if he actually was the truth. I know a bit about truth. And for one man to say that everyone who seeks it follows him, well, that's a bit too much for me to swallow. What is truth? I asked. I could have elaborated. Your truth? My truth? The truth of those whose voices are screaming outside my window? There are many competing truths. Still, I knew he did not deserve to die. I reached out my hand and touched his shoulder to lead him onto the balcony. I find no fault in him. Thousands of angry voices rang through the praetorium. Would you rather I release this man or Barabbas, the criminal? Then I did the worst I could to set him free. I had him scourged to arouse their pity, allowed him to be robed in purple robes and crowned with thorns so they might soften. But they would not hear of it. My only revenge is this sign I had dictated for his cross. Not, he claimed to be king of the Jews, as they pleaded it might be, but as he had spoken it. I wrote the truth. King of the Jews.
Not only were his followers forced to witness all that Jesus endured, but imagine Mary, the mother of Jesus, and all that she saw. Hear her words.
Words? I have no words for what I saw today. The world itself cannot contain the words that should be spoken. Can a mother recount in words the death of her child? Can a child of God recount in words the death of God? Yet I must find words. I watched as he dragged across through the streets. Hands that knew only kindness, I saw torn by nails. Feet that knew only righteousness, torturously pinned to the wood. And I witnessed his heart, his pure heart, pierced by their hate. For 3 hours he hung between heaven and earth on a cross. I can remember when my boy ran to me with the tiniest splinter. It stings the heart of a mother to see the suffering of her child. And so it is for this day, for this scene on the hill. I have no words. Other words I must find from former days. Words of the angel yet ring in my ear. Of his kingdom there shall be no end. No end. That's what the angel said to me, no end. If a cross is not an end, then what is it? Words of Simeon at the temple when we took Jesus for dedication. He said to me, a sword shall pierce your soul. How could Simeon know? And yet, his words comfort me now, as only truth can comfort. Words of my Jesus himself echo in the ear of his mother. I can remember the first words his lips ever said to me, and I have heard the last. He raised in a cry in a loud voice, "It is finished!" His breath did not return. But the angel said, of his kingdom there shall be no end. How can these words stand side by side? It is finished, there shall be no end. This box I have held in keeping 33 years. Jesus saw it in our home all his life. It was given to him by a wise man from the East as I held my tiny baby in my arms, little hands reaching to my face, little toes wrapped in ragged cloth. It is myrrh, embalming spice. What a gift to give a babe, I always thought. And yet, at the cross, it was a comfort to me. Little Jesus touched my face so often as a child. Today, with myrrh, I touched the face of my boy to anoint him for the shroud.
Can you sense it? Something new is happening. Picture the dawn of victory. Hear now the words of Mary Magdalene on the first day of this brand new week.
I came near to the cross as the body of my Lord hung motionless between heaven and earth. His lungs no longer gasped for a torturous gulp of air. His limbs were stiff as I helped to wrap his tortured body in winding cloth. His skin was cold and bloodless and pale. There was no doubt that Jesus was dead. But that was Friday, and today is the first day of the new week. Well, if someone else had told me, I never would have believed it. But the tomb was empty, and this was left behind. The linen cloth with which his head was wrapped. All was confusion. And I wept that someone had taken his corpse. But a man stood near. The gardener, I assumed. Where have you taken him? Where was he put? And then he spoke my name. And I saw he was there. Oh, I fell at his feet to hold on, to keep him from leaving again. And his skin was not as I'd felt it on Friday. It was changed. His skin was no longer cold and pale and stiff. It was impossible to describe what his skin was like, but finer than that of the flesh of any baby who had ever been born. Alive, yes, but more than alive. He seemed to glow with new life, vibrant life, a life beyond all human knowledge, eternal life, flowing through the eternal Christ as he stood before me in resurrected power. And then I noticed them, the wounds. Oh, no, not deformed and bloody, but transformed from scars of flesh and blood into signs of miraculous, beautiful, perfect signs of his glorious power over death. He stood before me more alive than anyone I have ever seen. He who was dead is now alive. He said not to hold him because he must ascend to his Father and to my Father. But I do hold him. I still hold him dear in the depth of my heart.